Hello everybody, welcome back to another JST video. Today we're going to be looking at how to create a simple game using Scratch coding. We're going to be looking at how to use variables and how to use the broadcast message. So let's go ahead and open up our browser, head to our Scratch website, and like always, hopefully you've got an account by now. If you don't, check out that video on how to create one and then you'll be able to save and share your stuff. Otherwise, let's just go ahead and hit create. And once our editor loads, the first thing that we'll do is we'll just go ahead and select data. Now this is where you can make your variables and your list. Think of a variable as an area that stores a particular bunch of information. We're going to go through kind of like a simple way to understand how it works and then how to implement them into our programs. So like I said, we're going to take a look at like a multiplication game. We're going to make it quick. It doesn't have to be multiplication because you can always switch the type of questions that are being asked. But in this case, we're going to make it kind of fun. We're going to make it like a race. So first thing you want to do is maybe just change the backdrop just so that, there's something a little bit cooler on the screen. I'll just click the first one. The next thing is you're going to need 3 sprite characters. You can use Scratchy as one if you want, and then you'll have to go ahead and add 2 more. In this case, I'll just use this bat, and we'll go ahead and then look for another character. We'll use this butterfly, looks kind of cool. And actually, now that I look at it, I want to go ahead and I want to switch the backdrop again just because I want something a little bit brighter. We'll use this blue sky. It's a little bit easier to see. So the way I usually set this up is I usually have whoever is going to be asking these questions, like a teacher, for example, to be at the bottom of the program editor. And then you can take your other 2 characters and then you can make them however big or small you want. I'll make them a little bit smaller and then shrink those up again. That looks pretty good. Okay, so what we need to do now is we need to code each character. So with the teacher selected, the very first thing that we want to do, like always, is make sure that we start our event off when the green flag is clicked. And then we're going to run a forever loop. And again, the forever loop is something that will happen continuously until your program is either stopped or you stop it yourself. Next, we're going to go into data, and then this is where we can start making our variables. So essentially, when you look at a multiplication game, you need to have a certain amount of numbers that you multiply, and then we have to ask a question, and so on. So in this case, we need to make a variable which is the first number. So that's the first number that would be asked in our question. Then we need to make another variable, which would obviously be the second number. And then we need to make one last variable, and that is to figure out what the correct answer is. Now you'll notice right here at the top left there's these boxes that kind of say first number, second number, and correct answer. Those will be off the screen if you unclick these check boxes. So I usually do that just so that it clears up the screen. Now you'll notice as soon as we make our variables, there's a set, change, show variable, and hide variable that shows up. That is perfect for what we need. What we want to do now though is we want to actually grab the set correct answer and change that to first number. Then we want to grab another set and change that to second number. And then we want to grab a set and leave it on correct answer. Now, the neat thing about the way you can do this is you can actually determine how big or how small you want the values of what the question gives you. So we want to make sure that we pick something kind of small because we're going to make it kind of like beginner basic. We want to go into our operators, and then right here there's the pick random from 1 to 10. You want to grab that and then put it on this 0 checkbox, and then we can go ahead and switch this to just 0. So now what this means is the very first number that's going to be multiplied will be chosen in between 0 and 10. So you would not have a number like 11. Now you can obviously change this. If you only want to work with 0 and 1, you would write 0 to 1, or all the way to 2 to 2, or 3 to 3, and so on. So what we want to do is we want to grab another one of these and then change this to 0 as well. Now, how do we determine what the correct answer is? Well, the correct answer, what we'll need is the multiplication oval. We'll set that in there. And then for these two numbers in here, well, the correct answer is the first number times the second number. So we go back to our data, and then we'll grab the first number, and we'll put it into there, and then we'll grab the second number, put it into there, and then grab it from the multiplication spot, and then put it back in. So now basically what we're saying is we know the first number will be between 0 and 10, the second number will be between 0 and 10, and the correct answer is the first number times the second number. And these are kind of neat functions because it calculates the right answer because it is a function of multiplication. So the next thing that we want to do is now we want to put these into our forever loop. Okay. And then we have to go ahead and actually ask the question. So like we've done before, we go into sensing and we grab the ask, and it says what's your name and weight. So we will put that underneath the set correct answer, and then we'll go ahead and in here, which is kind of neat, you can actually change this by grabbing different operators or whatever and just dragging them in. So we'll go into operators, and what we'll need is the join. So down here it says join right here. So we'll grab the join, and then we need another join that we'll grab and we'll put it into the very first box here. So we're left with 3 boxes right here. In the first box, we want to take our first number variable and put it inside there. In the second box, we want to put an X, that kind of signifies multiplication, and then our last box will be the second number. And then we grab it by the first join and we'll put it here. So basically what this is saying is we are asking, from here it is saying the first number will be selected by 0 to 10. So what we're saying is when the program selects that first number, we want to display it in the question. Then we want to write a multiplication symbol, and then the second number that's chosen at random will also be put into the question, and then the person playing with the game or the user looking at the game will see first number times second number, and that's the question that they're asking. Now this is all done again because we are picking random numbers. If we were to assign a certain question, then our ask would look, just something like this, 2 times 2. And then we would write, an if statement. If the answer is 4, then correct, or if the answer is not 4, then incorrect, and so on. But in this case, we are using numbers that are selected by our program itself. So now that we have our question, what we need to do now is we need to go ahead and have an if statement, and we're going to use an if then else. So we'll put that right underneath the ask, and then we'll go back to our operators, and now we will grab the hexagon with the equals in between it, and we'll put it right in there. So basically what we need to know now is what the answer is and what happens if the answer is correct. So when the ask is in blue, that means the answer will be in blue too, which is right here. So we'll grab the answer, we'll put it in there. So if the answer is correct, which is a variable that we've set up, So if the answer is correct, then what do you want to do? We're going to take a look at one of the cool blocks here in Scratch coding, and it's the broadcast. There's something really cool I'm going to show you guys in a future video, so be sure to kind of pay attention to this because it is kind of important. We're going to use the broadcast. Now in the broadcast, you can select down here and create your own one. We're going to make the message to be move. So essentially what we're saying is if the answer is correct, well then we want to broadcast some sort of type of move. And then we're going to add a look just to kind of give some confidence, something like great, keep going. And we'll display that for 1.5 seconds because we don't want it to be too long because we want to get another question right away. And if the person doesn't, like the user does not get it right, just very simply try again. And we'll play that for 1.5 seconds. So as we have here, to go from the top, when the green flag is clicked, forever pick a first number random, a second number randomly, and set the correct answer to be the first number times the second number. Then you ask the question, the first number times the second number that was randomly chosen, and then you say if the answer is equal to the correct answer that we've set, then broadcast move, say great, otherwise say try again. So that is all done for our teacher character, which in our case is Scratchy. Now what we want to do is we want to assign a kind of like what happens with the user character, which in this case could be the bat, and what's going to happen with like the computer character, where in this case it is the butterfly. So first we'll go with the bat. Now again, we'll go to events, get our green flag, and then we want the bat to start in this kind of area because this is technically, the beginning of the race. So in this area right here, it looks at about 167.94. So we go into our motion, we grab the go to, and it's kind of put the character already at -170 and 103. So we're just going to leave it like that. If we click the green flag, he starts right there, which is great. Then we want to go back to how we set the broadcast. So think of broadcast like a communication, not just between the sprite characters, but just in general communication. It's like sending a text message or sending an email or calling someone on the phone. So right now we've called someone or something on the phone, and that message or number is called move. So what we want to do with our character who's receiving that telephone call is we want to go ahead and receive that message. So we grab the when I receive the telephone call or text message or email called move, what should I do? In this case, we want the character to move a certain amount of steps. Now in this case we'll say 10. It's not too much, but we can increase this if if we don't know multiplication that well, or we can decrease it if we're really good at it and we're trying to get many questions asked before the butterfly computer character reaches the end. In this case, I'm just going to leave it at 10, and then we will grab a forever loop, and inside the forever loop we will just say what happens once the character reaches this end line. That'll be kind of like the finish line. So we will grab an if statement and put it inside the forever loop, and then we go into sensing, and we use the touching with our cat and mouse game. So we will grab this again, and we will change this to the edge, which is a preset function. We'll put that into our if statement, and then we'll just say, so if the character touched the edge, I'm assuming that they won, so we'll say congratulations for 2 seconds, and then we will go into here and stop it because that means that's the end of the game. So to go over this again, when the green flag is clicked, our character will start in this spot. They're going to receive that email, text message, telephone call that was called move. It'll move 10 steps, and then forever, if it touches the end line, which is the finish line, congratulations, and the game is done. Last but not least, we click on our butterfly, and now we have to code our butterfly so that this is the character that's going to be the computer version, so this is who you're playing against. We want this particular character to start in this area each time as well. So what we'll do is we will grab this go to, and it's kind of preset. We'll just check. So it's starting in this area right here, which is great. Then we'll run a forever loop right underneath. And inside the forever loop, this is where you can determine how fast or how slow your kind of computer competition is moving. I'm going to go ahead and put this as 1 step, and then basically what you have to think of is how many steps per how much time. So we'll grab a wait block. So now it's saying move 1 step, then wait 1 second. Move 1 step, then wait 1 second, which is a pretty nice time frame. We will then go ahead and grab another if statement, put it underneath our wait, and then go back to sensing, change this to the edge, drag it in there, and then in this case, if the computer character reaches the edge, well, chances are we did not win. So we'll say, oh no, better luck next time. Or game over. And then once that's done, we'll go back to control and then stop because the game would be over. So if we go ahead and run this program now, the first question says, what is 10 multiplied by 1? As you can see, our computer character is off to the races, and we need to answer this question. In this case, the answer is 10. We hit enter, great, keep going, and our character has moved. 4 times 6, 8 times 2, 9 times 3. Now what happens if we get it wrong? We'll say 8 times 2 is 13. It says try again. We get asked a different question. In this case, it was 4 times 0. We got it right, and then we're off to the races. So we continuously can try to answer the questions, and as we answer the questions, the character keeps moving. This was a kind of cool program because you're not limited to just multiplication. You can change this to subtraction, to addition, to division. All that you would need to change is simply right in here, instead of it being a multiplied by the two numbers, you would change this to the other operators, which there's addition, subtraction, and division. And then right here, instead of having an X, just change that to a a subtraction sign, an addition sign, or a division sign. So it's kind of neat. I think it's cool. You can make the characters go as fast or as slow as you'd like, and you can also change this to, instead of having a number picked randomly, you can do it science-based, where you ask a question, depending on what the answer is, the character moves and whatnot. It's a great tool. It's super fun. The kids love it, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any questions, just let me know. Put a comment, send me an email. Like and subscribe so you guys see future videos. And as always, thank you so much. I appreciate it, guys. We'll see you next time. This is JST. Bye.